Are leading the Santa Clara Broncos off to their best start since 1997 and 98. A trio of 1,000-point scorers in Santa Clara. Gonzaga off to their best start in school history. They're 14-1, ranked number 10 in the nation. It's an early season West Coast Conference showdown. Gonzaga, Santa Clara, next. Well, the excitement certainly back in Santa Clara basketball. Welcome to the Levy Center. The Broncos in their 17-game losing skid in the West Coast Conference now is in the history because of their win against USF on Thursday night. Number 10, Gonzaga in the house to take on the upstart Broncos off to this 12-3 start. Great to see everyone again. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, and Richard Fox. And we start with Gonzaga. And Richard, their front court led by Kelly Olynyk, Elias Harris, as good as anybody in the land.
Yeah, best front court in the WCC, maybe in the country, Greg. You're right. Both kids tremendous this year. Take a look at Elias Harris, 15 points a game, leads the Bulldogs with 7 rebounds. And Kelly Olynyk, off a redshirt year, leads the team with 16 points per game and shoots over 65% from the field. And against Pepperdine, 34 points, 10 rebounds on 10 of 17 shooting. Both those kids brought energy right from the jump for a sluggish Gonzaga team. Really led the charge on both ends for that entire ball game. And Olynyk, along with Harris, just a handful in the paint, but also in transition, can knock down the jump shot. That's Olynyk's favorite spot from behind the arc. And here you see, in transition, gets early position, able to finish it with the foul.
And Dan, Kerry Keaton, the head coach for Santa Clara, enjoying Kevin Foster, now a senior, one of the best scorers that this West Coast Conference has ever seen.
Without a doubt, Kevin Foster, all-time leading scorer here at Santa Clara, has a chance easily to pass the 2,000-point scoring mark. On the year, he's 4th in the conference in scoring at 19 points per game, 4.5 assists a game, a very aggressive guard. Scoring the ball in a number of ways. Here you see a pick and roll, pull it up for 3, running the baseline, finding open areas. He's aggressive to score, but he's also aggressive defensively, leading this conference in steals at about 3 a game. For Santa Clara to have a great chance to win tonight, he's going to have to play big.
And their offense isn't just about Kevin Foster. 3 players on this team over 1,000 points now in their career. The only team in the country that has a trio of 1,000-point scores. Ladies and gentlemen, it's number 10 Gonzaga on the road to play Santa Clara. Tonight's starting lineups, the tip-off when we come back. Time for tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. For Gonzaga, it'll be Pangos Bell Jr., Mike Hart, Elias Harris, and Kelly Olynyk playing the 5 spot. For head coach Mark Few, now in his 14th season, and of course having one of the best starts to a career after 14 years in college basketball history. We take a look at the starting lineup now for Santa Clara. And it's a star-studded lineup now when you look at the history of their program. There's Rockemore, the point guard, Foster, a guard, Cowles, very good, Trasolini, healthy and back in the lineup. He's a key figure, and so is Robert Garrett, a 7-foot center. For head coach Kerry Keating, who's now in his 6th season, 86 wins, 92 losses. He's got a pedigree, gentlemen. And when he came to Santa Clara, he expected to make Santa Clara what Gonzaga is right now in this league.
Yeah, you look at the record, and it's not indicative of how good of a coach he is. They had a big-time rough spot last year, going 0-16 in WCC, but suspension to Kevin Foster, injury to Mark Trasolini, obviously 2 large pieces of what they're trying to do, and they've helped them get them back on the right track this year. And
Keating wants a win against Gonzaga, 1-11 in his career.
Yeah, in the worst way, he wants that win. And you mentioned it, Greg. This is a big statement game for Santa Clara. After a disappointing season last year, they've gotten off to a great start. They need to continue it. Winning tonight will go a long way in doing that.
Your family home care, home court advantage. The Broncos 22-15 all-time against Gonzaga at the Levy Center. With family home care, you always get the home court advantage you deserve. But Gonzaga, of course, has won 11 of the last 12 against Santa Clara. And guys, there have been some great rivalries in the history of the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga and Santa Clara a few years back was the rivalry.
It was for nearly a decade in the 90s and in the early 2000s. And Santa Clara leveled off a bit, and Pepperdine got really good for about 4 or 5 years. Now it's St. Mary's, but Santa Clara has been a great ball club in the past, and they look poised to do that again this year.
And Dan, interesting, students on break here at Santa Clara, but it's a sellout. And we got a lot of students sitting behind us, don't we?
Without a doubt. You know, the students here are doing a great job getting themselves into this game, and that's one thing that you love about college basketball. Yes, it's still Christmas break. Students have come back early to be a part of this game tonight.
And the West Coast Conference standings, a lot of unbeaten teams right now between Gonzaga and San Diego. The Zags leading the way with a 14-1 start. 13-1 obviously outside of the conference. Santa Clara, St. Mary's, BYU certainly expected to play a role in the championship in the regular season as this season progresses. It'll be Trasolini and Harris tipping it off. And we're underway. Olynyk and the dunk. How about that off the opening tip?
Well, if you're Coach Keating with Santa Clara, that's definitely not what you want to see first play of the game. As your point guard, Rockamore, you got to be in a defensive position, a defensive tap.
And Pango's trying to strip Foster on the catch. And now Foster will reset for Santa Clara. He'll drive into the paint. Misses the runner. Harris the rebound. Gonzaga with the numbers and on the run. Harris lost it out of bounds. It'll be Santa Clara basketball, our first turnover.
And right away you see on the defensive end for GU, Kevin Pango's trying to get right up into Foster on his catches, and on that ball screen, Olynyk hedges out aggressively. They do not want to allow Foster to get into rhythm early here in the ball game.
There's Trasolini. And now back to Rockamore. Assist to turnover ratio. He's the best point guard in the West Coast Conference, Dan.
Well, 3.6 assist to turnover ratio is phenomenal, especially in the college game. But we talked earlier, his efficiency from last year to this year is off the charts.
Rockamore. Harris popped out. Here's Trasolini for three, and he hits it. He's 37% for the season, 10 of 27, and he connects for Santa Clara. Here's Bell around Cowles, left it for Harris, and he's fouled by Robert Garrett. Our first foul of this game. Harris will go to the free throw line.
One of the challenges you're going to see tonight for Gonzaga's bigs as opposed to the other night in Pepperdine is Santa Clara has good size. Trasolini leads the league in block shots. Garrett right behind him at second block shot, so they're going to be challenged at the rim.
Harris at the line. Typical Elias Harris game Thursday night against Pepperdine as we take a look at this Trasolini shot. Well, top of the key, buried it.
Great job by Rockamore, stretching the big on hedging of the pick and roll. Throw back to Trasolini, hands and feet ready, knock down the three. Great shot from your big.
Free throws gives Gonzaga the 4-3 lead.
You see right away some pressure from GU. More of a token press, just trying to burn some clock off and force Santa Clara deep into their shot clock. Santa Clara likes to play fast.
Rockamore almost pulled the trigger on that deep three, and he'll do it here. That was not in the motion of the offense, Dan. A bit of a delay. They don't go in often. No call there. Bell to the rim, and somehow it drops through. 6-3. The fans not liking what they just saw.
Already you're seeing the refs let them play a little bit. Both teams are going to have to adjust to this physical style of play early on.
Rockamore using the dribble. Skips to Cowles. And Foster, this is a deep three. That's way off. Out of bounds off of Harris. Elias not liking that call. It'll be Santa Clara basketball.
Foster, that doesn't look like a good shot. But for just about anybody, that'd be a poor shot. But Foster's got that ultimate green light, and that's a great look for him. He's in rhythm. Defense falls asleep. That's a good look from about 25 feet.
Cowles inside, back out to Rockamore. Gary Keating really urging the students of Santa Clara to get back for this game. They're out of session, but he knew how important this game is as the season progresses, and Rockamore buries it from the wing, but then picks up the personal foul. Not a smart play there.
No, silly foul, but Rockamore doesn't get a lot of the headlines with Foster and Trasolini on the ball club. But you mentioned it, Dan, one of the more improved players, not only in the West Coast Conference, but in the country, much more efficient. And he's got that green light as well to take those long threes.
He's got great size, good speed, good length for a point guard, especially in this league.
And he started since a freshman, so he's got a ton of experience under his belt.
That was the first on Rockamore, team's second. Olynyk inside, missed the first end. Trasolini had the rebound, and Olynyk almost took it back.
And you mentioned it, Dan, with Trasolini and Garrett underneath. They have the best defensive presence around the rim in the league, and you've seen it here early.
Tough screen by Trasolini there at the top. Foster dribbling deep, now the fadeaway, that's short. Ball on the floor. Rockamore and Bell battle. Possession arrow favoring Santa Clara. Yannick Atanga, number 44, on the floor now for Santa Clara.
So not just those two initial posts, and Trasolini and Garrett. Atanga comes in, and Harrison off the bench is now the fourth big, but he started nearly all of last year, so great depth along that front line for Santa Clara.
Dan, Gonzaga got off to a sluggish start Thursday night against Pepperdine. What coach is happier right now with the start of their team, Keating or Few?
I'd have to say both teams are pretty happy with where they're at. A couple fouls have gone against Santa Clara earlier. Gonzaga hasn't been able to finish quite as well as they'd like, but overall, you're just trying to feel each other out this early in the game.
Trasolini can't score. Harris with the block. Out of bounds, it'll be Gonzaga basketball.
And that's where Foster's gotten better on the offensive end. 4.5 assists per game. He's not just a shooter. He looks for his teammates. He draws so much attention. He can often dump it down to his post players. He did right there.
Very physical start to this game. Both teams going right at each other. Here's Harris. Baseline on Atanga. Trasolini with the block. Up to Foster. Hart there defensively, and Foster scores. Foster's first bucket of the game. He's 1 of 4.
Just like that, easy buckets in transition. And Foster's so good with that handle, Dan. He can create space and get those shots in transition.
Now the loose ball picked up by Foster. Back comes Santa Clara. Offensive foul called on Foster. Bell there to take the charge. Kevin got a bit out of control. Our first timeout. 15:51 to play first half. Santa Clara with an early 8-6 lead. Kevin Foster 1 of 4 from the floor. That bucket there may get him going. We'll be right back.
Northwest.
And welcome back. Time now for tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino.
Well, fellas, for GU, it starts with attacking inside. Olynyk and Harris are top 10 in the league in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage. How they go, GU goes. In ball pressure, GU cannot allow Santa Clara to comfortably run their offense and find consistent quality shots. They make nearly 9 threes a game, Dan.
I think the keys for Santa Clara, do what they've done early in this game, and that's be aggressive. Put Gonzaga back on their heels, and they've done that so far. The other key for them is going to be to limit Gonzaga's bigs. Kelly Olynyk, Elias Harris, Karnowski, Sam Dower, shooting collectively as a group 60% on the year. They've got to drive that percentage down into the low 50s, even 40s, to have a great chance to win this game.
Guys, who has more pressure on them to win here tonight, Santa Clara or Gonzaga?
Oh, I think GU, anytime you go on the road, it tends to be the biggest game of the year. There's lots of pressure on you to perform. But for Santa Clara, there's a lot to prove. A lot of people are doubting how good they really are based on their schedule. This is a great chance for them to prove some people wrong.
Harris inside. Trasolini thought he had the clean block, but he fouls Harris, and Harris going back to the free throw line for the second time this game. Got David Stockton, Guy Landry, Eddie on the floor, along with Harris and Olynyk for Gonzaga.
And that's a position on the floor that you're going to see Gonzaga put Harris in as many times as they can throughout tonight, as well as the West Coast Conference. With his quickness, having opposing bigs guard him at the elbow is going to be really difficult.
Brandon Clark, number 3 on the floor for Santa Clara, giving Rockamore the break. Here's Elias Harris trying to tie the game. And does. Harris now with 4 points. And he leads all scorers. Clark, a sophomore out of East Chicago, Indiana. Atonga playing inside for Santa Clara. Harris down there patrolling. 12 on the shot clock. Hardly a pass right now for Santa Clara in this offensive set. Clark in trouble. Here's Trasolini trying to get it to Foster in the corner, who has to shoot it. Drives the baseline and scores.
Well, that's about as good a defensive possession you could get if you're Gonzaga, but then unfortunately you don't pre-rotate, help side defense, give up a layup at the shot clock buzzer. Not a good finish to that possession.
There's Olynyk in deep. And he simply dropped it in on the reverse.
And Stockton does all the work. What a feed. Defender turns his head, can't see the ball coming. Olynyk does a nice job of stopping right underneath the rim. Excellent delivery on the pass.
Olynyk now with 4 as Clark fires the 3, and he buries it. He's 3 of 11 on the season, and he connects easily here in his first minute of action.
Doesn't score in a bunch. Got great quickness, looks to pass, but right there, very aggressive on the catch.
Good ball movement for Gonzaga. Stockton buries the 3.
And David picking up where he left off the other night in Pepperdine. He had a great game against Pepperdine the other night. 9 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, I believe it was, picking up right where he left off.
There's Foster weaving his way. Step back, and then into Guy Landreetti. There you see a veteran at work for Santa Clara.
He's just got such great handle. It's like a yo-yo. He can put it wherever he wants to put it. He's got good size, and he's not just a three-point shooter. That's where he does the majority of his damage. But as his career's progressed, he's much more comfortable taking guys off the dribble.
Foster at the line where he's an 80% free throw shooter, Dan, but doesn't take a lot of free throws, 41 of 51.
No, if there's one piece to his game that could really help him is finding ways to get fouled, get himself to the free throw line. This last bucket you see right there, the layup, I guess if guys don't foul you to put you to the line, just go ahead and put it in the bucket.
But to be more of a complete player, he's got to do more of that.
He does.
Drive to the rim, right?
He does. A lot of times, because he's such a good shooter, he'll rely on it.
John MacArthur, number 25 on the floor for Kerry Keating. Junior out of Danville, California. Trasolini getting his first break. And Rockamore back on the floor as well for the Broncos. Sam Dower on the floor for Gonzaga. And there's a foul on Cowles. Cowles picks up his first, team's 5th.
Gonzaga's really looking to get the ball inside to Kelly Olynyk these last few possessions. The play a few possessions ago where David Stockton found him was off a cross screen. This time they looked to go high-low, couldn't quite get anything.
Stockton sets up the offense. Bounce pass, Dower, left hand, left it short. Rebounded by Brandon Clark at 6 feet tall. Rockamore trying to find some space. Got it to Clark, and then he's fouled by Stockton. His first, team second.
Well, you notice with the Broncos, anytime they catch it on the perimeter, if they don't have an early three-point look, they immediately put it on the ground, and they use so many ball screens, and they've got really good quickness with Clark, Rockamore, Foster's got some good quickness. They are a handful on that perimeter. And those ball screens, they force your bigs to work a lot away from the basket, which can open up some dribble penetration.
Well, your bigs can go out defensively, hedging, but your weak side defense has to be connected and shrink the floor.
That's off a Bell out of bounds. Rockamore got caught in the air there. Both teams off to hot starts offensively. Santa Clara 5 of 10, Gonzaga 4 of 7. And number 35, Robert Garrett, coming back in for Atonga.
And since Garrett's been inserted in the starting lineup, Santa Clara 7-1. He gives him that size, 7 foot, 270 pounds. He's been a great addition to that starting lineup.
There's Cowles from deep. Olynyk the rebound. Santa Clara 3 of 6 from behind 3. And Olynyk left alone. He'll shoot it. Hit it.
I mean, you don't see that out of too many 7-footers. That's a heck of a move right there.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
I'll just bring it up myself.
Well, he was a guard in high school, so you can see how he still has a lot of those guard-type skills.
Gonzaga back in the lead at 16-15. Here's Garrett inside, knocked away. Stockton saves it. Nice catch by Olynyk. Stockton wasn't sure if he should let that go or not, so he gambled. Olynyk, Dower, free throws.
And that's really what makes GU unique, especially with Olynyk and Harris, is they're not just comfortable around the rim. They can shoot it out to 3, and they can both really put it on the floor. You see right here, no hesitation. He beats Garrett, draws MacArthur up, and all Garrett can do is foul Dower and send him to the free throw line. You just don't see that very often at this level.
2 fouls now on Garrett, 16 fouls, and Sam Dower at the free throw line and hits the front end.
Sam Dower has struggled recently, but last year against Santa Clara, he had a great game. 18.7 rebounds, going 7 straight from the field. Gonzaga hopes that seeing Santa Clara again could get him back on the right path.
And don't you feel like Dower's due? He is due to go off and explode in one of these games. He works too hard in practice, and he's too talented.
Nee Harrison on the floor for Santa Clara, number 31. And as Garrett goes out with those 2 personal fouls. And Kevin Foster back on the floor for Santa Clara as well. He's got the ball. Skip pass. And reset. There's Rockamore. Picked up the dribble. Gary Bell with the duty of guarding Kevin Foster tonight. And a carry called on Kevin Foster.
Good defensive possession for GU, and right now Santa Clara stagnant offensively.
Their 3rd turnover of this first half, 11:45 to play. Gonzaga with a 3-point lead, and Kelly Olynyk gave it to him from deep. We'll be right back.
Welcome.
There's a beautiful shot of the sun setting behind the Santa Clara Mission tonight. A lot of beautiful vantage points here from this campus. Gonzaga ranked number 10, leading Santa Clara by 3 at 18-15, 11:45 to play first half. Guys, was this a 3 by Kelly Olynyk?
No, his foot's obviously on the line. You know, that's one of the great things about being able to see from our vantage point. I'm not quite sure if the refs are going to go back and change that or not, but it was definitely a 2. Regardless, heck of a move by a 7-footer there.
I just wonder at some point in time somebody from Santa Clara is going to see it out on the broadcast and bring it to the officials. Maybe attention at halftime. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can go back and change it that far after, but
guys, Kevin Pangos back in the lineup. He was poked in the eye early in this first half, which brought David Stockton into the game, but obviously Kevin okay. And both Pangos and Stockton on the floor right now for Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think that's their best look at times offensively. Allows David to handle the ball at the point, be more of a facilitator, and allows Kevin to work off a lot of screens and search out his shots.
Trasolini back on the floor for Santa Clara. There's Stockton. There's Mike Hart.
You got a mismatch inside. Rockamore trying to defend against Olynyk. GU can't find him.
Stockton open 3. That's short. He runs down the rebound. Loose ball. Mike Hart picks it up. It's loose. It rolls out of bounds. And it is whose ball?
GU.
Gonzaga basketball.
You want to know if this game means something. That's the 3rd time we've seen multiple players on the floor. A lot of intensity. You mentioned it earlier, Greg. Physical game. And here you see it. Hart, Stockton on the floor. Harrison, Rockamore there trying to get the ball. A lot of effort on the basketball floor right now.
There's Olynyk. Spinning. Now he goes back, uses the right hand.
Tremendous footwork. Big going left, stop, semi-spin move, come back, finish inside hand finish. Great finish.
But why is he finished with the right hand instead of the left hand?
Close to the bucket.
That's the efficient one to use, though. Doesn't have to turn his body all the way and open himself up to the defense. What's impressive is he's always under control on that dribble penetration. A lot of big guys try to go to the rim, and they look awkward and out of control.
It was such a good use of his redshirt year last year. 2 years ago, he would not have been able to do that.
Trasolini missing at one end and then comes up with a big block at the other end. And here's Kevin Foster to Trasolini. There's some offense.
He can score on the year, 54% from the field for his career. Inside the arc, over 60%. So you get him moving to the bucket on that low block, he's as efficient as anybody in the league.
But look who was involved with that play. Yep. Kevin Foster doing something other than create a shot for himself, getting his teammates involved. Great play.
Olynyk mid-range jumper, that drops through. Olynyk now with 11 points into double figures with that shot, 3 rebounds.
Tonight, Kelly Olynyk he's showing you the full toolbox now. He's bringing in post moves, three-pointers in transition, face-ups. Really come to play tonight.
Trasolini got poked in the eye 2 possessions ago on that block. He actually scored after getting hit in the eye.
Well, here you see Foster draws so much attention. Olynyk doesn't want to vacate that area around the three-point line, and that's where the maturity and the fact that you've got 3 seniors in your starting lineup. Those guys have played together so much, over 250 starts between Trasolini, Foster, and Cowles III.
So Trasolini goes into the walkway area there to get that thing stopped. And Foster drives the baseline and scores with the runner.
Good defense, just better offense.
Trasolini's got a little hockey in him, I'm sure. He'll be back.
Well, if you look at both of these rosters, there's a number of Canadians on this team, so that's a great call, Greg.
Pangos. His poke in the eye is feeling better as well. Gonzaga's largest lead of the game now at 5, 24-19. But this guy can change everything. Lockamore out to Foster, open 3, bang.
Just can't afford to help off Foster. Right there, Pangos gets caught watching the dribble penetration from Lockamore. And that's just careless play defensively, and Foster's just too good to leave alone like that. That's all but a layup for him.
Foster now into double figures with 11. He's 1 of 2 from behind the line. Harris sets the screen. Pangos pick and roll. Harris. And a chance for a 3-point play.
Great patience on the ball screen by Kevin Pangos there. Elias Harris tries to come up, set a step-up pick and roll. Kevin directed him to set it to the inside. Came off it, created enough attraction from Elias's defender MacArthur there. Drop pass in the lane. Elias, great finish.
Elias completes the 3-point play now with 7 points. He's 5 of 5 from the free throw line.
Yeah, and Olynyk now with 11. Those kids, 18 points already in the first half. We talked about it at the top, fellas. How was Santa Clara going to match up with GU's front line? So far, they've struggled.
Lockamore almost lost the handle. Interesting, a moment ago, you saw the 7'1" Karnowski pop out on Foster, who I believe wanted to shoot the ball from the top of the key, but then he saw Mount Everest in front of him. Lockamore drives high off the glass, too hard. Karnowski with a rebound. Here's Stockton. Right by Cowles, and then he bangs into a Tonga, and that's a charge.
Well, David doesn't like the call.
But that's what you love to see if you're Kerry Keating. He's got Biggs and Trasolini and Garrett who can block shots. Tonga, not a great shot blocker, so he tries to slide in, take the charge. On the second look, looks like he might not have been there, but at the same time, if you're at home, a lot of times you're going to get those calls.
Stockton's first, team's third. It appeared that Tonga was still moving, and here's Hart with the steal and the lay-in.
Just so simple plays. And nobody takes that scouting report and applies it to the floor better than Mike Hart for Gonzaga. Right there, knew what play was coming, read it perfectly.
7-point Gonzaga lead. 4 turnovers now for Santa Clara. Here's Foster from deep. He's got endless range.
I'll tell you what, he loves big games. And you love your best player loving big games.
And Bell short at the other end. Foster now with 14 points.
And you look at some of the other big games he's had in his career. 29 points at Duke, a career-high 36 against Gonzaga 2 years ago.
Foster again. That one's off. Harris high for the rebound.
Well, that was a heat check. Sometimes as a coach, guy gets it going, you give him a little bit more leeway to take a, quote, bad shot.
This is Gary Bell. Harris sets the screen. Bell flashes inside, missed the lay-in. And back comes Kevin Foster.
GU not looking at all inside to Karnowski.
Rockamore in transition is off.
Given that size, Dan, he's working hard. You've got to give him a look. He's got the defender on his back.
Brasolini back on the floor. That eye's got a gash under it, but the blood is stopped. Foul inside on Karnowski. Kevin Foster heating up for Santa Clara. He's got 14 points. He's 5 of 9 from the floor, and he's 2 of 4 from behind the line. But that one was really deep. 4-point game at Santa Clara.
In the lane goes up.
Welcome back, number 10 Gonzaga with a 4-point lead. And guys, all the coaches in the West Coast Conference are going to have nightmares about Kevin Foster this year.
Well, he shoots the three at a very good percentage, but he shoots them in a number of different ways. The first two we've taken a look at, Brasolini and Rockamore knocking him down, and here's Brandon Clark, but the main three-point shooter on this ball club is Kevin Foster. He can shoot it off the driving kick to space in the right place. He can shoot it coming off of pin downs, and he can shoot it coming off of ball screens. So they can score and get three-point opportunities in a number of different ways.
And that's what makes Santa Clara different this year. They have multiple guys who can put the ball in the hole, and particularly from that three-point line. You saw right there 4 different guys that made three-point shots. It's not just Foster anymore for the Broncos. They have great depth on the offensive end.
Driving the baseline and scoring is Cowles.
Haven't talked about Cowles at all yet, but only 130 points away from reaching that 1,000-point milestone as well. A tremendous player as a senior. Does just about all the little things, a lot like Gary Bell for Gonzaga.
Back to a 2-point game. Go ahead, Dan.
Cowles is a senior. He knows what's to be expected of him, and he's very efficient for this ball club.
Bell threw it away. Now it's a run to Pangos and Rockamore, but that's an over and back call. Turnover number 4 for Gonzaga. Santa Clara basketball.
And if you've noticed early, GU has had a tough time with dribble penetration on their offensive end. Santa Clara's got good quickness defensively. It's been the bigs for GU that have been able to break down the defense for scores or for assists around that rim. The guards right now for GU have struggled to get to the rim.
Foster with a left hand, count the bucket. And a foul called on Elias Harris. Harris picks up his first, team's 5th.
Well, that's a heck of a move right there by Kevin Foster. Getting into the paint, attacking the defense. Elias Harris slides in just a little bit. Might be a similar call as to what Atanga got a few possessions ago on David Stockton.
And Foster already with 17 points. He's 6 points away for 2,000 for his career. He already holds the scoring number for Santa Clara, taking down the record held by Kurt Rambis.
And when you think about the fact he missed 18 games last year, that's even more remarkable.
Pick and roll, Harris with the flush from Pangos.
Great probe off the pick and roll there. Kevin Pangos getting the big to commit. Great pocket pass. Dunk Elias Harris.
Harris with 9, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Stars in this game have come to play. There's Rockamore over Dranginis. Dranginis may have gotten a finger on that. Here's Olynyk running the point. Got it to Dranginis. Now the skip pass. Too high for Bell. But Harris is able to corral the loose ball. Bell inside, scores.
Better offense now for GU. Everything starting from the inside. And right there you see Harris kicks it out. Extra pass from Dranginis allows Bell to make that move to the rim. Better offensive possession.
Bell knocked to the floor. Here's a shot. That's off. Atonga the rebound and a reset. Here's Foster again. Trying to get around Pangos. Missed it. And Dranginis runs it down. Beat Trasolini to it. Olenek and Trasolini really battling inside. Olenek spins. Trying to get there. And does. That's a big body. 13 points for Olenek. He's hard to stop.
Just covers so much ground with his footwork. Trasolini played excellent defense, challenged the shot, nearly got the block. Kelly just bigger and stronger around that rim.
Olenek now 6 of 7 from the floor. And free throws coming here as Olenek picks up his first personal foul. That'll be 6 on Gonzaga with 3:38 to play first half. Kerry Keating has got to feel good about his team to this point with 3:38 to play. They trail Gonzaga by 5 with free throws coming. Elias Harris off to his usual start for Gonzaga. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Levy Center in Santa Clara. The Broncos trailing number 10 Gonzaga 35-30. Guys, we're watching some basketball pretty high level here tonight.
Hey, these two teams have come to play. It's been a great first half. Santa Clara's got it going from the outside. Kevin Foster, 17 points on 6 for 12 shooting. But Kelly Olynyk is really carrying this Gonzaga ball club right now. 13 points on 6 for 7 from the field.
And Rockamore settling in at the free throw line. Richard already 5 assists. He's a 3.62 assist to turnover ratio guy. Is this the best point guard? A true point guard in the West Coast Conference?
Well, he's now in the conversation as a junior. I think Ireland and Haas at BYU, Ireland at LMU and Haas at BYU would have something to say about that. But he is about as good as it gets in the league, particularly like you said, Greg, as a true point guard.
Here's Pango, speaking of great point guards.
But we can't forget about Matthew Dellavedova either. It seems like he's been there for years at St. Mary's.
But I mean, he's down at 2.0 in assist to turnover ratio.
He's become a lot more of a shooting guard for them, though, given the fact that he's easily their best scorer from the perimeter.
Yeah, but I think anybody would say your point guard does whatever it takes to get your team the best opportunity to win games, and that's what Matthew Dellavedova does at St. Mary's.
Olynyk, that's really too easy. 15 points now for the big guy.
Yeah, right now, just Gonzaga getting anything they want inside. We've got 22 points in the paint to Santa Clara's 8. Not a lot of resistance around that rim for the Broncos.
Foster with a little of an opening. And that's off.
Gonzaga got away with one there. If you go to zone, you've got to locate shooters, namely being Kevin Foster.
Harris, great feed. Olynyk, it won't fall over the rim. Loose ball, kicked around. Foot race, Pangos wins the battle. Reset for Gonzaga.
Sorry, Greg. Who tips that out? Mike Hart gets a fingertip on it, keeps it alive for GU.
Pangos, opening three-pointer is off. That's his first attempt from behind 3 tonight. Rockamore was held by Pangos, no call. Cowles from the corner. That's true. 4-point game.
And that's now the 5th Santa Clara player to make a 3 tonight. So that shows you just how important that 3-point shot is for this team.
Harris, 2 more, 11 points.
It's just Harris and Olynyk going to work.
That's beautiful basketball.
And I'm telling you, that's what makes them so difficult to guard. They force your post players to step out to beyond that, to around that 3-point line, and most guys aren't comfortable guarding out there.
Kerry Keating calling a timeout here. His team trailing Gonzaga by 6 with 1:44 to play first half. Guys, Gonzaga shooting at 60% from the floor. Santa Clara 46%. If you're Santa Clara, you got to feel good about this. You trail by 6, but Gonzaga shooting 60%. You only trail by 6.
Yeah, I think if you're Santa Clara, you're happy. You've got 12 buckets. 9 of those are coming off assists. But you just don't have an answer for Olynyk and Harris, in particular around the rim. You see right there, GU's rankings in the WCC. Easily the best offensive team in the league. They shoot a high percentage, scoring nearly 81 points per game, and they share the basketball while taking care of it on their offensive end. The only area where they need to improve, particularly late in games, is free throws. You see right there, sub 70% for a team.
Dan, Gonzaga has already proven they can come into hostile environments this year and win basketball games. That effort against Oklahoma State, maybe the best game in a few years we've seen by Gonzaga.
Oh, that was a phenomenal effort. Everybody seemed to make a big play down the stretch of that game for Gonzaga to pull it out.
And Santa Clara has to prove that they're ready to contend for a title in this league. And regardless of the fact that it's a veteran team, many of them didn't play last year.
Yeah, Trasolini's out all year. You had Foster facing suspension 18 games. But what it's done, it's given a lot of guys experience that might now be coming off your bench, and that's a real asset for Kerry Keating and the staff.
As we near the 1 minute mark in this first half, 6-point game, Gonzaga leading with the basketball. 15 on the shot clock. Here's Bell. Driving left hand, blocked by Trasolini. Out of bounds, it'll be Gonzaga basketball, 11 on the shot clock.
Just excellent help on that dribble penetration. It's Trasolini's second block. You mentioned it at the top, Dan. He's tops in the WCC, and his partner Garrett's number 2. They challenge just about everything around the rim.
Well, if you're a guard going in there knowing that, collapse the defense, look to make a play for a teammate.
Olynyk. Trasolini's career high is 5 blocks in a game. It came against Gonzaga back in 2010. Pangos from the corner for 3, rimmed out. Hart with the rebound, new clock. That kid is everywhere.
So many extra possessions are gained by Gonzaga from Mike Hart.
And Olynyk now will shoot free throws. And the fans of Santa Clara not enjoying that call. That's 3 personal fouls.
Well, Dan, you mentioned what Mike Hart does. Let's take a look. Here as Olynyk gets fouled by Garrett.
His 3rd.
Yeah, but previously, Mike Hart, he is a nightmare for perimeter players. He's more of a 4-man really in mentality, but he's flying in from the perimeter because he plays that 3 spot. And a lot of guys aren't used to having to turn, find a body, and box out. As a result, he gets his hands on a lot of offensive rebounds. Last 4 games, over 2 offensive rebounds per game.
Olynyk hits both free throws, now 16 points. Actually, this hasn't updated. I believe he's got 17 points now. 5 rebounds for Kelly Olynyk. He's 7 of 8 from the floor. And Santa Clara, with about 3 seconds differential between the 2 clocks, will drain it. It's an 8-point game right now. And 5 on the clock. Cowles with it. Got to do something. Here's Rockemore driving, and he was fouled.
Not a great possession for Santa Clara offensively. Gonzaga, great defensive possession, but then you foul with 1 on the shot clock.
That's good recognition from Rockemore, though. You got the footer out, and as good as Olynyk is guarding perimeter players, he's not quick enough. And right there, Rockemore just looking to draw contact, not looking to get a shot, just hoping to draw the whistle, and he does.
You know, for a point guard, he does a great job of getting himself to the free throw line, putting foul pressure. As a freshman 2 years ago, he was 3rd in the country about getting to the free throw line behind Jared Sullinger, ranked number 1 that year. Jared Sullinger ends up being a lottery or NBA draft pick by the Boston Celtics this past year.
Olynyk picks up his first personal foul. Gonzaga as a team just 7 in that first half. Very disciplined start to this game for Gonzaga tonight.
Yeah, they do an excellent job of playing defense without fouling. That's been really a calling card of this program. Starting about a couple years ago. It started really with Rob Zachary defensively. Big, physical, did a nice job challenging things at the rim without fouling. And I think the staff has done a nice job of expanding that with the rest of their front line. As a result, they usually get more free throws and put teams in foul trouble. You see it already, Garrett with 3 fouls, starting center for Santa Clara.
Rockemore at the line, now with 4 points. He's 1 of 3 from the free throw line. .7 seconds. So Gonzaga's already got a play in mind here. Off the make or off the miss. Loose ball picked up by Cowles. He'll shoot it, and he won't get the roll. We've got a 7-point game at the half, 41-34. And guys, the stars came to play. Olynyk and Harris for Gonzaga and Foster for Santa Clara.
Well, both coaches, that's what you want to see. Your main guys, your main guns come in and giving all you've got, and they both did that tonight.
It's an early season showdown in the West Coast Conference. It's been enjoyable for the first 20 minutes. We're at the half. Number 10 Gonzaga with a 41-34 lead on Santa Clara. Halftime when we come back.
Welcome.
Do what you want when you want to.
Model is game-changing.
And welcome back to the Levy Center. Guys, Mark Trasolini, just 5 points in that first half, but he's getting it done defensively, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing it on both ends of the floor. Hasn't gotten going offensively, but leads the league with 2 blocks per game, and you've seen his activity level coming on the weak side, and even one-on-one in the post. You see right here, forces a tough shot, gets a block. He's just a handful there. Really, really active on that end of the floor, and he's a much better athlete than he looks.
But if you're going to beat Gonzaga, you got to bring your offense. Rockamore and Trasolini, just 9 points between the two of them. We'll be right back. And we're set to get the second half rolling at the Levy Center in Santa Clara, California. Gonzaga and the Santa Clara Broncos. High scorers for Gonzaga. It's Olynyk and Harris. For Santa Clara, it's Foster with 17 points. And Dan Dickow, Kevin Foster has been, frankly, Kevin Foster in this game, right?
He has, averaging 19 points a game on the year, had 17 in the first half, but scored in a number of different ways. Here you see shot fake, attack the rim to a great finish around 3 zags. This time, Rockmore penetrates, finds the open spot, knocks down to 3. This play, he just simply shows you his deep range. Scoring in a number of different ways tonight.
Gonzaga will start the second half with possession. You got to figure, though, for Santa Clara that Gonzaga would give Foster 30 as Pangos missing. Jump ball, possession arrow going the other way. But, Richard, Gonzaga will give Foster 30 if Trasolini and Rockamore don't get going offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you just expect Foster's going to find his shots, and more often than not against Gonzaga, he comes to play, and he's done that there in the first half. But the fact you've been able to keep Rockamore and Trasolini in check offensively is a big, big plus if you're Gonzaga.
I mean, you're not going to beat Gonzaga if you don't have balanced scoring. If you don't get other guys going. Here's Foster. 17 first half points and 2 to start the second half. He's got 19.
Picking up right where he left off in that first half, but you're completely right. If you look at the games Gonzaga lost this year, Brendan Paul with Illinois had 35. They're going to need an effort like that from Kevin Foster tonight.
Olynyk can't convert, but then grabbed it back. Loose ball, and Foster comes out of there with it. Rockamore was on the wing. Foster doesn't give it up and goes right to the rack and misses, but a foul is called. And Foster will go to the free throw line.
You want to see what a fifth-year senior looks like? That's it. In transition, he's under control and lets Mike Hart catch up to him, and then just crosses up Bell and gets fouled as he gets to the rim, I believe by Harris. He's just so patient with the ball. He's never in a rush. He never picks up his dribble, Dan, in a bad spot, and that's something you don't typically see from young guys. You can tell he's played a ton of basketball at this level. The game is slow, and he always makes, for the most part, the right play.
Foul called on Harris. That's his second, team's first. Foster now with 20 points. Needs 3 more for 2,000 in his career.
And if the Zags thought they could come out and try to make life tough for him, he answered that in a hurry, didn't he?
He's making life tough for Gonzaga tonight. That's
picking up right where I left off, fellas. Get ready.
Truly great scorers. You can't shut them down.
No, what you try to do is you try to make things difficult for them. You try to make them score by having to get one more dribble. by taking a step out, one step further past the three-point line.
There's Harris deep on the block, and now he'll shoot free throws. Harris with 11 points. He's 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Atonga picks up his second personal first-team foul.
He is so good, is Harris, at drawing contact and getting to the line. Leads the Zags with over 6 free throws attempted per game. Every time he catches it now, he's in attack mode.
And Richard, he's underrated physically. When you talk about the great physical presences of Gonzaga over these years, players like J.P. Batista, he's underrated.
That's a great call, Greg, because I think he's known as an athlete, a vertical athlete. But what gets lost at times, maybe because he's only 6'7", 6'8", is he is a horse in the paint. He is a strong kid. He'll move guys and get to where he wants to go.
His first miss at the line.
I mean, think about it. He's 6'7", 6'8", 240 plus. He's a handful.
Well, his strength and his explosiveness allows him to typically finish through guys, which not a lot of players can do.
Harris 1 of 2. Gonzaga's first point of the second half. And it's a 4-point game. Here's Rockamore, who averages 14 points a game. He's got 4 tonight.
He's had a good floor game to start the first half, but he just hasn't shot the ball great. Almost seems to be in a little bit of a rush when he shoots the ball tonight.
Foster. Wow, a runner from the free throw line. Foster with 21.
Quite frankly, that's just, you tip your cap.
Actually, he's got 23. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, bud. You're fine.
That's 23, 2,000 for his career.
How about that?
Well, congratulations to him. That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Here's Bell driving into the paint, and the reverse drops.
Big time basketball on both ends.
If there's one player, if you're Gonzaga staff, that you could say, hey, Gary, take a look at how he plays the game, it would be Kevin Foster. Similar body build. Gary might not be as explosive an athlete, but he was that kind of scorer in high school.
Foster now the step back. That's short. Trasolini runs it down. Nobody moved to the rim for Gonzaga.
Well, Olynyk's got to help Mike hard. He knows Foster's hunting out that jump shot, and that's where Trasolini needs to be more aggressive, is understanding his man is often the help man defensively. That offensive glass is going to be open.
It's a 2-point game in Santa Clara. Here's Harris to the rim, and he's fouled by Atonga. So Harris earning the trip back at the free throw line, where he's 6 of 7 in this game. He's got 12 points.
Well, that's a great example of a fourth-year guy, a senior, being able to make a wise decision with the ball. Earlier in his career, Elias could not make that play. Going on the dribble at Kevin Pangos for a dribble handoff. Defense, Rockamore denies it. Elias just kept right on going, attacked the rim, drew the foul.
You said it, Dan. It's his handle. His handle has really improved over his 4 years as a freshman. Really couldn't put the ball on the floor at all. Now you'll see him bring it up at times and look to create.
That's the third personal foul on Yannick Atonga. So the starter Robert Garrett back into the game for head coach Kerry Keating. And Garrett also playing with 3 personal fouls. And Harris is just flat out good tonight from the free throw line. He's 8 of 9, 14 points. You take him any way you can get him. Bell right up on Foster. Bell playing hard. Foster won't get the roll. Olynyk clears it. Here's Pangos. Flying through that Bronco defense, and a foul, the block called on Cowles.
Well, defensively, that is one of the hardest things in basketball to do, is when a guard is pushing it at you full speed in transition, not to foul. The tendency is to get your hands in there. Raymond Cowles, tough call going against you, but you stick your hand in there, ref's going to call you for that.
You got to let him play a little bit.
3 team fouls, the second out of Ray Cowles.
They have let him play for the most part tonight, but that's a tough one in transition to stop any guard. I don't care who you are.
And you like the fact that Kevin's looking to push it. Maybe find himself an easy bucket, create something for a teammate. Don't walk the ball off the floor. Don't let that defense get set.
Bell, that's a 3. That's off the front of the rim. Foster the rebound. That shot didn't look good when it left Bell's hand, and Trasolini left wide open. And how about the vision from Foster?
What a pass there by Kevin Foster.
Credit Trasolini runs the floor, outruns Olynyk, a kid in Olynyk who runs the floor awfully well. The two seniors connect for the easy two.
Backdoor Hart, Olynyk, the lay-in. Boy, when this game works, it's beautiful to watch.
Simple plays. An extra pass there from Mike Hart, who's only got 3 turnovers on the year in over 230 minutes.
Rockamore, the ball was deflected. Trasolini with it, left hand. Offensive foul called, no bucket.
Basket's good.
They counted the bucket. Count the bucket. Dick Cartmel was emphatic with that call. 15:41 to play. We've got a dandy in Santa Clara. The Zags with a 2-point lead on the Broncos.
One of the
driving.
And welcome back. Here's tonight's Arby's trivia question. What is the record for three-pointers made in a game at the Levy Center? Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9? We'll have the answer a little bit later on in the show. Guys, interesting call a moment ago by Dick Cartmel. You don't want to question him. I mean, he's done like 100 Final Fours. Olynyk called for the block here. Count the bucket. Or, I'm sorry, offensive foul called. Count the bucket, though.
And what Carmel's saying is he's released the ball before contact's made. So the shot's good. It's after the ball's released. It's a charge. Kelly Olynyk's there in time. It looks like a charge. Just an interesting call to count the bucket. The Broncos will take it. You don't see that very often, Dan.
Not at all. I mean, it looked like Kelly was there. But again, you don't argue with Dick Cartmel. Refereed a number of Final Fours. If you ask any coach in this league which ref they want reffing a high-level game like tonight's, they would say Dick Cartmel.
I agree.
That's the first foul on Olynyk, team's first. Gonzaga's lead has been trimmed to 2. And guys, how often do we hear that the first 5 minutes of the second half so very important? And it was so very important for Santa Clara to come out and establish themselves, and they have.
Yeah, they really have. They've come out to play. Foster's just been tremendous on the offensive end, not only searching out his own looks, but he's gotten Trasolini a couple easy buckets by drawing the defense. And that's important. If you're GU, you'd love to come out and eliminate any belief Santa Clara might have. But Santa Clara right now knows they're in a game, and they're playing with a ton of energy.
Trasolini with 6 points in this second half. They needed offense somewhere else, and they're getting it. There's Olynyk. Bounce pass, Mike Hart. No call there, and Olynyk banks it in. The fans are upset.
They're looking for the travel.
Well, as long as both feet hit the floor at the same time, that is not a travel.
Rockamore into the corner. This is Clark. Left it for Trasolini. Olynyk flashed at him, changed the shot, and the ball goes out of bounds with 16 on the shot clock.
Mike Hart recovers and makes what looks like an easy 2 points a little more difficult. Right here, Trasolini thinks he has the dunk. Good hustle from Hart, but credit Trasolini for staying with the play.
Yeah, there was a foul call there on Mike Hart. That's his first, team second. Foster right over Sam Dower, who got out there a bit late. Ball won't drop. Stockton trying to keep it alive. Out of bounds, and it belongs to Santa Clara. That'd have been a tough one for Santa Clara to handle if Stockton beat Garrett to that basketball.
Yeah, almost a fast break, but good hustle on both ends. Garrett, the 7-footer for Santa Clara, keeps that ball alive. That's why he's out there. He's big, occupies a lot of space, and he plays hard on both backboards.
Well, Gonzaga in a zone on this possession. They've got to make sure they locate shooters on the perimeter.
Foster driving on Pangos. Rockamore on the baseline. He kicks it out to Foster. And a foul inside before the shot. And they'll give this to Sam Dower. So Sam picks up his first. It'll be team's third.
And that's what Rockmore can do a great job, is penetrate, probe that defense, collapse it, find open guys on the perimeter, just like he did there with Foster.
He's had great recognition. He sees a big step out to try to guard him on that three-point line. He doesn't mess around. He looks to get to the rim right away, force that defense to collapse.
Clark to the post. Garrett, left-hand jump. No good. Tipped back in by Trasolini, who's got 8 points this half for Santa Clara.
You think the redshirt senior came to play?
And the turnover. Rockmore at the other end, into the corner, taken back by Bell. Up court to Pangos. He's all alone. The run-out lay-in.
You don't see that often. Rockmore with the careless mistake. And you go from looking like you're going to get an easy 2 points to giving up 2 on the other end.
Oh, it's a great hustle play by Gary Bell. Just getting himself back in transition defense. You're taught. Ball's contained on one side. Go to the open man. That's what he did.
Clark fires it through. 1 point game. Each team with 5 turnovers now.
And this game has a feel, Greg, that it might go down to the last possession or two.
Stockton. Now to Olynyk. Olynyk drives hard. And a chance for 3. How many times have we seen that this season? Where did that come from? Gonzaga didn't see that in his mentality 2 years ago.
You didn't see that in his mentality, but what you're seeing is a player whose confidence is growing literally every week, even every game. He gets more and more comfortable with the things that he's allowed to do. And one of the things that is a tough guard, a tough scout, is Kelly goes left better than he goes right. That's rare for guards, let alone bigs.
Garrett just picked up his 4th personal foul, and he stays in the game for head coach Kerry Keating. 5 team fouls on Santa Clara. There's Garrett. Poked away. Stockton with it. He's got the numbers. 3 on 2. Stockton over his head. And the finish by Dower. What was that? Wow.
Well, I'm not quite sure if David meant to throw that to Sam or Gary, but it got in Sam's hands and worked out. Heck of a play.
I'm not even sure his dad did that.
I'm not sure they teach that anywhere. That's just great feel from Stockton.
But the thing you love about David for this ball club is he's willing to take a gamble more so than a lot of players, and more often than not, it pays off.
8 on the shot clock. Foster with Olynyk right there. This is deep. Dead on, but long. Dower kept it alive, and Garrett just fouled out of the ball game.
Excellent box out there from Dower. But how about the confidence from Foster, fellas? That's 30 feet off one dribble over a 7-footer. That looked good.
Robert Garrett, 7 feet tall. The biggest of their bigs fouls out with 12 minutes and 7 seconds to play. He has not scored a point tonight. That's a big loss for Santa Clara.
Yeah, you don't look for him to give you a lot statistically, but that size is going to be missed. No doubt about it, Greg.
Gonzaga's lead is at 5 with possession. Stockton again deep and lay-in. Boy, Santa Clara can't give up a play like that at this stage in the game. Back to 7 points. Timeout, Kerry Keating. Gentlemen, I mean, that's very difficult to give up right here. It's David Stockton, the no-look over the head, finished by Dower. Gonzaga's lead is back to 7 in Santa Clara.
It's not unusual in the sports world for your team to have
And welcome back to the Levy Center in Santa Clara. Number 10 Gonzaga with a 7-point lead on the Santa Clara Broncos. Kelly Olynyk, a new career high, 23 points tonight. 10 of 12 from the floor, guys. Best game of his career to this point.
Most efficient, and he's been a handful. Santa Clara's had no answer, and he's done most of his work on perimeter catches, and then he's looked to take the defense off the dribble. And Trasolini, Garrett, None of the frontline players for Santa Clara have been able to stop him on that dribble penetration.
Brandon Clark, number 3, with the ball. Grassolini, a big second half for Santa Clara. And of course, Kevin Foster is racking him up as well. There's Grassolini inside. That one won't go. Olenek another rebound.
Well, Grassolini is definitely a key to this game. In the 12 wins for Santa Clara this year, he's averaged over 18 a game, and their 3 losses have only been around 7.
Great anterior passing. Olenek to Dower. And it's out to a 9-point game with 11 minutes to play. And Gonzaga on an 8-0 run, and there's another turnover. Turnover number 7 for Santa Clara, and they're getting very costly at this point in the game. 10:54 to play. Gonzaga leading it by 9.
It's
And welcome back. Here is the answer to tonight's Arby's trivia question. What is the record for three-pointers made in a game at the Levy Center? The answer is 9. Kevin Foster and Dan Dickow, the gentleman sitting to my right, share the record with 9 three-pointers made in a game at the Levy Center. Foster did it in March of 2011. Dickow did it February 22, 2001. So 10 years apart. Dandy Dan, you remember that day?
Oh, I remember that day fondly. I know we got to win. I think we got to win.
I remember 9 threes pretty fondly.
23 points tonight gets him to 2,000 for his career. Look at the names that are in front of him. This is in West Coast Conference history now. The great Hank Gathers at the top of that list. Foster's not going to get him, but he certainly has a shot to be number 2 all time and getting in front of Bill Cartwright, the legendary former player at the University of San Francisco. There's Pangos, blocked by Rockamore, but Pangos got it back. And here's Bell driving, and the lay-in. Went right through John MacArthur to get that bucket.
Great recognition, Gary Bell. Defensively on the pick and roll. Man jump top side a little too soon. Take what the defense gives you, attack the rim.
Rockamore inside, right at Dower, and a blocking foul called as Dower tried to get out of the way of it, but Rockamore wouldn't let him. Hey guys, 4,907 people in this building tonight. This is the most fans in the Levy Center in Santa Clara's basketball history. How about that? Students aren't even in session.
Yeah, great effort. And the student section nearly entirely full for Santa Clara. You talked about it, Dan, early. The students making that effort, coming back early to campus to be here today.
It just goes to show you that the entire community here at Santa Clara understood how important this ball game is, even though we're only 2 games now into the West Coast Conference schedule.
Well, they had a great win against their kind of geographical rival USF the other night, but if they could get off to a 2-0 start in league, that would be huge.
As we hit the 10-minute mark, and here's an offensive foul away from the ball. This is on Dower. So Sam Dower picks up his 3rd. That's 5 team fouls on Gonzaga.
Doesn't like it, but that's the right call. He's using his hands to try to clear out Rockamore instead of using his body. Easy call for the officials.
But just have some patience. Let the ball swing, and then, like you said, use your body to seal and get the proper angle on it. Then it's an easy bucket.
Trust your teammates to bring you the ball. Exactly.
There's Grassolini. You got to figure Santa Clara's got another run on them yet.
This 2-3 zone for GU is called giving Santa Clara fits.
Rockamore left hand, won't get the roll. Rebounded by MacArthur. He missed it. And look who grabbed it. It's Stockton. Clark trying to take it away. And Gonzaga now into their half-court set. Dower setting the screen. Bell into the paint. Needs help. Got away with a travel possibly. Lost the handle. Now he's on the floor and calls a timeout.
Wow, it looked like he got away with a travel on more than one part of that possession.
There's no maybe about it.
I think if you're Kerry Keating and his staff.
It actually took place right before that shot you're seeing, folks.
But then he dove on the ball and rolled.
Yeah.
Gonzaga just 6 turnovers in this game. Just 7 turnovers for Santa Clara. It's been a really clean game. Gonzaga shooting 69% from the floor this half, 60 for the game. It's not like Santa Clara is not shooting it well either. 43% for the game, 43.8 this half.
Both teams have been very good offensively. You know, Richard mentioned a minute ago this kind of zone that Gonzaga has thrown out at Santa Clara the last 4 or 5 minutes or so has really created problems. Santa Clara's got to look to attack that a little bit more and get Kevin Foster moving on the baseline, get him the ball in different spots.
Olynyk leading the way with 23 points.
38-20 in the paint for GU. We said that'd be the story coming in. How did Santa Clara match up with Olynyk and Harris? So far, they've had a tough time.
There's Dower from Olynyk. Powers took it away. Guys, it's been several minutes since Foster has scored a bucket. Santa Clara needs to get him back in the flow. Here's Clark. Spins and shoots. Missed it. Tipped out of there. Trasolini with it. Creates space and scores. Trasolini now with 15.
Well, offensively, if you're a shooter and the other team goes zone, you can't just stand. You've got to find gaps. You've got to run the baseline. And Foster really hasn't done that these last few possessions.
Giles almost took that away from Stockton. Then he lobs it up to Dower, who's blocked by Trasolini, but a foul called. Trasolini picks up his 3rd personal foul, and that is the 7th team foul, I believe, on Santa Clara. Yes, it is.
You know, I think he got it clean up top. Let's take a look, folks. Excellent pass over the top from Stockton. Gets it clean up top. You know, that looked clean initially, and you'd like to see that go. With just so much contact. Dower hits the ground. It's hard for the official not to blow his whistle.
So Gonzaga into the bonus with 8:31 to play. Dower 6 points, 3 rebounds. Hart and Harris will check back in here momentarily for Gonzaga. As Yannick Atonga coming in right now. Hart's in right now for Gary Bell. Harris will be replacing Sandower.
Getting themselves to the free throw line has always been a strength of Gonzaga's program, and this year it's no different with the 4 bigs that they have. On the year, they've made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. That shows you that they're attacking, putting foul pressure, playing with force.
Dower out with 8 points, 3 rebounds. Harris is in with 14 points, 1 rebound. Fans of Santa Clara now trying to give their team some energy. 10-point game. Clark's shot is off. And here's a foul inside. This will be on Gonzaga. And they believe they gave it to Kevin Pangos. That's his first. And that's 6 on Gonzaga.
Clark's doing the right thing against this zone defense. Trying to attack, get into the paint, make them collapse. Create opportunities for yourself or teammates.
Trasolini inside. He'll shoot free throws. This foul will be on Olynyk.
Excellent. Out of bounds play. You get Trasolini on the move. He's great at that. Good athlete. Can score over either shoulder. And how about this second half? 5 points there in the first half. Now 15 points for the game. He has come out in a big way here in the second half.
2 personals on Olynyk. Both teams into the bonus now. Trasolini hits the front end. Guys, Santa Clara not scoring with as much ease as they did in that first half. Gonzaga's defense getting better, or are they just missing shots?
Well, that zone is just giving them problems. Everything has been on the perimeter, and Santa Clara will send a big up for a ball screen. They haven't gotten any touches in that short corner area on the baseline or that high post with one of their bigs. And as a result, they've taken a lot of jump shots, and that allows GU to really help on Foster. Anytime he catches it, there's more than just one man around him.
Here's Stockton. Trying to create some space. They'll drive. And Foster takes it away. Not enough movement there on Zag's offense. Foster behind the back. Jump shot rattles out. Stockton the rebound, but a foul called here on Elias Harris.
Yannick Atonga there. Great job going to the offensive glass.
7:45 to play. Gonzaga leading Santa Clara. 7:45 to play. Santa Clara hanging around on their home floor here at the Levy Center against number 10 Gonzaga. And guys, Mark Trasolini has come alive.
He's woken up after a slow first half. 12 points, 6 rebounds on 5 of 9 shooting here in the second half. And it started early for him off an offensive rebound and in transition. He has gotten it done in a variety of different ways and just a lot of effort. Gonzaga's had their hands full with him, and it's provided some balance for Santa Clara.
And the big three for Santa Clara, the 3 1,000-point scorers. Rockamore has not been able to get on track offensively tonight with 5 points. Trasolini, the big second half. It's Kevin Foster right now, guys, that has not scored a field goal since the 18:26 mark. Better almost 11 minutes ago. They need him. They're going to need points down the stretch.
They definitely need him. Gonzaga has done a great job of keying on him in the zone. But Kevin Foster also has to do a much better job of searching shots. And what I mean by that is finding open areas, maybe running the baseline, finding gaps in the zone that, hey, you get a quick catch and shoot, knock that thing down, get yourself going again.
Tonga at the free throw line, a 44% free throw shooter. And he misses. Olynyk the rebound. Trasolini for Santa Clara also 2 rebounds away from his 10th career double-double. He's on the bench right now for Santa Clara. He won't be there long, though. 15 on the shot clock. Stockton drives. Olynyk with the pin. And Stockton's shot won't fall. It goes out of bounds. Possession staying with GU.
Santa Clara right now wants an offensive interference after Olynyk was looking to tip the ball. The ball was still above the cylinder and his hand touched the backboard and moved the backboard. That should have been an offensive interference call.
That was a great seal by Olynyk there. Shot inside, no good. Goes out of bounds again. This time it belongs to Santa Clara. Guys, if you're Kerry Keating, do you set something off offensively now to get Foster going?
Well, I'm sure coming out of this timeout, they're going to have something drawn up for Foster. I mean, he's been quiet like we've just mentioned. They know that Gonzaga's been in his zone. They're probably expecting him to be in his zone for 1 or 2 more possessions here.
Clark against Stockton. Stockton almost took it away right there. Out to Foster.
Gonzaga showed zone, but really was in man there.
Trasolini sets the screen. Foster into the paint. Runner good. His first field goal since 18:26 of this half. He's got 25.
He is so good at splitting that double team off that pick. He's got to show early if you're GU.
Gonzaga basketball. Fans don't like it.
Tell you what, Santa Clara's picking up their defensive intensity right now. David Stockton can't be careless with the ball like that up top.
Santa Clara's got a sense that this is the time. If we're going to make a run at them, this is the time.
Yeah, and it's going to start defensively for them. Not a lot of easy buckets off their defense so far tonight. They'd love to get a few fast break opportunities and not allow that zone set up.
Foster takes it away from Olynyk. Harris on the defense, spun right into Pangos, no call, and there's the foul on Gonzaga.
Sometimes you don't have it going offensively. Get yourself back in the rhythm. Do something great defensively. Here you see Kevin Foster getting the steal, pushing it hard in transition, making the correct decision at the end of the play, getting it to Trasolini.
It looked like Pangos was in position there. Could that have been an offensive foul on Foster?
Yeah, but you can kind of sense the momentum has swung to Santa Clara these last couple possessions. At some point in league, you got to let the plays go. And if you're going to make a call, a lot of times it's going to shade towards the home team.
Trasolini now with 18 points, 13 in this second half. And with that free throw, it's down to 4. 6:24 to play. Who's going to answer for Gonzaga? Stockton, Olynyk, and he's fouled by Yannick Atonga. So Atonga picks up his 4th personal foul. That's 8 on Santa Clara.
And remember now, Garrett's fouled out, the starting center, 7-footer for Santa Clara. And so what does Kerry Keating do here? You see right here, good roll. Olenek catches it kind of in an awkward spot. Atanga just a little too aggressive there defensively.
Olenek now 3 of 4 from the free throw line as MacArthur is going to come in for Atanga. MacArthur, the junior out of Danville, California. Atanga checking out with those 4 personal fouls and 0 points, 6 rebounds though. Olenek gets the roll. 25 points, a career high for Kelly Olynyk. He's 10 of 12 from the floor. As we near the 6-minute mark at the Levy Center in Santa Clara. There's Clark into the paint, picked by Olynyk. It's a good thing because Trasolini was going to dunk it.
Well, another great play there by Clark, getting into the teeth of the defense against that zone. Just couldn't quite come up, find that pocket to get it perfectly to Trasolini for the finish.
20 on the shot clock. There's Clark. Long handoff. Step back short by Foster. Rebounded by Clark. Loose ball. Stockton tipped it to Olynyk. And Pangos with it. That was a big lost opportunity there for Santa Clara. Trailing by 6. Stockton. To Bell. He's tied up. Gonzaga basketball.
If you're Santa Clara, you hate to see that because that was a heck of a defensive possession. Kind of had Gonzaga back on their heels the whole time. Got him in that corner, had a trap. Ball got poked away and ended up getting into a jump ball. Great defensive possession.
Largest crowd ever here at the Levy Center, and I'm sure you can hear him in the background. Bell throws it up, draws the foul. And this is going to be on Foster. That'll be his 3rd personal foul, and obviously he doesn't like the call. 19 fouls.
Keating livid on the sideline, gets the look from the official. And Foster's not happy either. It looks like the official's given the Santa Clara bench a warning.
Yeah, Kerry Keating getting the warning there. Foster over to talk to his head coach. Foster 25 points, 9 of 21 shooting, 2 of 10 from behind the arc. So the points are there, Dan. The shooting percentage isn't.
No, he's 4 for his last 12. He started the game 5 for 9. So he's kind of hit a cold stretch. But what he's got to do is get himself some easy ones.
Let's see if this is a foul, guys. Standing straight up. I don't like it. Bell leans into Foster. Foster's already has position. That's a bailout call.
I agree with you. I think that was a pretty darn good defensive play by Foster. Gary tried to sell it, but he didn't fully sell it. If you and I don't think it's a foul, it shouldn't be, right?
Absolutely.
Gary Bell.
We don't miss a lot of calls, that we're saying?
Exactly.
Oh, this instant replay is beautiful.
Bell in the double figures now with 10. Foster driving on Harris, and Harris now the foul. A lot of whistles in the last couple of minutes. 4:52 to play.
Well, the game's gotten a little more physical on both ends as well. The intensity, the energy in this building has really picked up. You see another high ball screen, the handle. He's able to get around the corner and draws the contact. He gets the benefit of the doubt. That insult to injury, Elias gets the elbow to the jaw.
But what that is that's a smart play. You just had a questionable call go against you at the other end. You're the best player on your team. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to attack the defense. And I'm going to put the ref in a position where he's got to make a call. So great recognition by Foster.
Foster now 6 of 6 from the line as Elias Harris goes to the bench with 4 personal fouls. That's 10 team fouls on Gonzaga, so Santa Clara into the double bonus the rest of the way. Foster with 27 points. Dower wanted to go back door, but MacArthur was there. And look at the defense on Gary Bell. Olynyk around MacArthur will shoot 2.
But at what point is Santa Clara's bigs going to realize when you get ISO'd up top by Kelly Olynyk, he's going to go left every single time. He's able to get into his stuff much better going left. Force him to his right hand, load up, Make him go where he does not want to go.
But Richard, how often do we see an ISO situation set up for a 7-footer?
At this level,
At the top of the
never.
But that also shows you how tough of a scout and how tough of a preparation it is to play Gonzaga, because that's a very unique look at the college level.
Olynyk, 27 points, 8 rebounds. He's now 6 of 7 from the free throw line. And it's an 8-point game, 4:27 to play. Here's Foster. Splits the defense. Runner is good. Boy, is he good at that. Wow. Foster, 29 points.
Just splits that trap every time, or rather that show by the help side on that ball screen. It's about the 5th time he's done that. GU hasn't adjusted. He's made him pay.
His career high is 36. It came against Gonzaga a couple of seasons ago. He scored 29 2 games ago against Duke.
Tell you what, big games, big players step up, and that's what he's done for sure tonight.
3:45, Pangos. Short, long rebound, right back to him. New clock. Pangos almost shot it again. That ball deflected out off of Cowles. It'll be Gonzaga ball with 21 on the shot clock, and we've got a timeout call. 3:29 to play. Kevin Foster seeking out his shots. A lot are falling. 29 points for Santa Clara. Big finish when we come back. And welcome back to the Levy Center, where Gonzaga has a 6-point lead on Santa Clara, 70-64. Time now to announce our Subway sub of the game. It's Sam Dower. Dower right now with 8 points, 3 rebounds. He's 4 of 4 from the free throw line. It's time for melty, mouth-watering goodness from Subway restaurants. Try the steak and bacon melt or one of 3 other melty favorites only at Subway, proud sponsors of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Well, guys, 3:29 to play. Santa Clara trailing by 6. They got plenty of time to get it done.
It's got to start here, though. With that ball pressure, they've really ratcheted up the last 3 or 4 minutes and have given GU some problems.
Olynyk with 27, misses there.
And that was one of the easier looks he's had all night, and he couldn't quite put it down.
Missed the bunny. Great move. Just not enough on that finish.
With Santa Clara, you're looking to put Foster in a high ball screen. They do it again right there. Look for him to create.
Foster, Trasolini to Rockamore. He drives. What was that all about? A Tonga with the finish. Rockamore was going to try to dunk it, but he was 3 feet from the rim.
Harris stepped in and cut him off. No call from the official, but a Tonga, opportunistic, gets his 7th rebound, 4th offensive.
Here's Bell. Mike Hart into the middle. Bounce pass, Olynyk. Otonga slipped, and Olynyk scored 29 points.
Great play by Mike Hart. Defense doesn't always respect and play soft. When that happens, attack the paint. Great decision there, getting the ball into Kelly.
Oh, Mike Hart, 20 assists, 3 turnovers on the year.
And there's a foul on Kevin Pangos. That's 2 on Pangos, and 2 free throws coming for Santa Clara with 2:09 to play. Rockamore, a very good free throw shooter at 82%. None bigger in this season to this point. He's 2 of 6 in this game before that.
He's had a nightmare of a game offensively, shooting the ball 1 of 6 from the field, and those struggles have carried over to the free throw line. But Dan, you've got to love it. 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. He's still done a nice job of orchestrating things offensively for the Broncos.
Harris checks back in for Gonzaga. Dower went out.
Rockamore has done a good job. There's been a few possessions where he's had it in his mind that he's going to shoot. You take that last possession, he had a wide open three. He passed it up to penetrate down the lane.
Pangos with the opening. Olynyk with the finish.
Kelly is scoring in every possible way tonight. ISOs on the block, follow buckets. Heck of a game.
Kelly Olynyk with 31 points, 12 of 15 from the floor. Rockamore deep three, that's short. Atonga with the rebound, tried to save it. It was grabbed by Pangos, but I believe he slid onto the sideline. So it'll be Santa Clara basketball with 1:31 to play. And timeout called by Mark Few. Guys, we've seen this the last several games for Gonzaga. It seems like they play well. Whoever they play is also playing well, and it's a tight game the entire way, but Gonzaga just does not have those little drop-offs.
Yeah, there's not a lot of peaks and valleys for them. That's a great call, Greg. Pretty consistent throughout the 40 minutes with their effort and execution offensively. And when you've got a guy like Kelly Olynyk, he is unique, and that makes a big difference.
Time now for tonight's play of the game, brought to you by Supercuts. Get in, get confident. Visit one of 15 local Supercut salons today. Supercuts, Gonzaga's #1 hair salon. We'll go with Kelly Olynyk here on the offensive rebound. 12 of 15 from the floor. And this is the guy really why they haven't had the peaks and valleys. They get the easy bucket out of him.
He's playing at a different level. It's not the same game for Kelly right now. Not only is he that talented, but you mentioned it, Dan, earlier. His confidence level is off the charts.
Gonzaga just given a delay of the game warning there. Foster from three, that's way off. Olynyk with the rebound. And now the dribble. So a quick one by Foster, nowhere close. He's now 10 of 23. And Gonzaga will take some time off the clock now.
Well, you want to take a little bit of time off the clock, but you also don't want to put yourself up against, 4 or 5 seconds on the clock before you get into your stuff.
Olynyk playing like a guard over there. Pangos, Olynyk, free throws.
You just don't see that. Hey, we need a shot. We want to milk the clock. We want to get a good shot. Kelly, go half court and bring it up. I mean, that is just unheard of.
Well, it's a 7-footer's dream to be able to do that, and he's grown with his skill level and his physical ability to do that. And the coaches obviously are gaining confidence with him week by week to let him do that.
Yannick Atonga fouling out for Santa Clara. 2 points, 9 rebounds, 5 personal fouls.
But he gave him great minutes tonight. Lots of energy off the bench.
And Olynyk at the free throw line already with 31 points. He's 6 of 7 from the line, now 7 of 8. And time now to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job too big or too small. With 7 convenient locations, we rent everything. At A to Z Rental, be your most valuable player. And of course, it's Olynyk with 32 points, make it 33 points and 10 rebounds. So a double-double, 12 of 15 from the floor and 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And inside, Powell. Timeout, Santa Clara. So they keep it at 6, a 2-possession game with 44.9 seconds to play. This game is going to get very extended now.
Well, if you're Santa Clara, you're looking for every opportunity to get the ball back in your hands, so you're going to have to start fouling, putting Gonzaga on the line.
Well, you'd like to get a quick shot. You did. A nice layup at the rim. And you want to maybe trap that first pass in that full court pressure, but after that pass out of that trap is made, you want to foul quickly, extend the game. You're absolutely right, Greg.
Guys, the beginning of the season, there was no talk of Kelly Olynyk, even on the first team All-West Coast Conference team preseason. Is he the player of the year to this point in the West Coast Conference? This is a huge statement tonight.
He's been GU's best player since he came back from sitting out the first 3 games. And you see right here, he can just do it in a variety of different ways. You don't see bigs that can handle the ball the way he does. He's comfortable with in his hands. And he's done such a good job of getting position early. That way he doesn't have to put the ball on the floor on his touches.
There's Pangos with it. Foul called on Frasolini. So Gonzaga's best free throw shooter going to the line with 42.1 seconds to play and a 6-point lead. Olynyk with 33 points, 12 of 15 shooting, 8 of 9 from the line, 10 rebounds. I mean, you have to go back to probably Turioff. Well, since we've had a post player at Gonzaga with those sorts of lines, with that sort of line.
Coming into tonight, inside the arc, he's shooting 70% from the field. That's just...
Those numbers are unheard of. Yeah. I mean, you can talk about Roney, second-round pick, who's carved out a very lengthy NBA career, but Roney was never able to put the ball on the floor from the perimeter like Kelly can do.
Maybe Batista then. Batista used to shoot at a high level.
Well, he could shoot it from the outside, but it was more of a pick and pop where Kelly will actually put you in an ISO game, jab step, create his own shot rather than have somebody create a shot for him.
GU's had guys who could score around the rim, but nobody at this clip.
There's Rockamore with his slam.
And if you're GU, that's not what you want to give up, is a quick bucket like that.
Back to 6, and Mike Hart now goes to the free throw line.
That's a good foul. Mike on the year, 8 of 11, but doesn't shoot a lot of free throws, let alone shots late in a tight ball game. And that's the right guy to send in the free throw line if you're Santa Clara.
Well, the mistake made by right there by Gonzaga, not only give up an easy bucket, but you've got your best free throw shooter inbounding the ball. Kevin Pangos, let that thing go, get yourself set up, have somebody screen to get you open, so you're now the guy who gets fouled and goes to the free throw line.
Mike Hart long on that shot. So lead remains 6, 2 possessions. And obviously this is a big free throw here by Mike Hart to push it to 3 possessions. And Mike Hart hits the second in. 7-point game, 35 seconds to play. Foster, hard on him, step back. Foster's shot is way off, tried to get a foul there. Rockamore with the rebound. He steps back. He'll shoot it over Pangos. That's short. Tip back, won't go. Goes out of bounds. And it's Santa Clara basketball with 19.1 to play. Gonzaga nearly at their season average in scoring at 79 points. They average about 80. Here's Rockamore. They shoot free throws. Foul on Mike Hart. 17.2 to play. Guys, this has been a hellacious road swing for Gonzaga. They had to go to Oklahoma State. They beat a very good ranked Cowboy team on their home floor. Then they have to go on the road. They never went home for New Year's. They go right to Los Angeles to play Pepperdine there, and then to this game here at Santa Clara. Now they go home to play St. Mary's next. This is a really difficult stretch for Gonzaga. They're handling it well.
They're handling it extremely well. But you're right. They go back, and it doesn't get any easier. Matthew Dellavedova, the reigning WCC Player of the Year, and St. Mary's are going to be well prepared to play Gonzaga on Thursday.
Rockamore keeps this game within reach for Santa Clara with those free throws. 5-point game. Here's Bell. And now he's fouled. And this is a clutch player for Gonzaga. Gary's already in his young career hit some big shots for GU.
Well, just the other day.
Right.
New Year's Eve, Oklahoma State knocks down the go-ahead 3.
With like 30 seconds to play.
35.7 seconds, and that's after struggling throughout that ball game to find his stroke from behind the arc. Shot it with no hesitation. You're right, Greg. Last year in the tournament, 2 games, 16 points a game, so he's got it in him. He's just struggled this year on the offensive end. His shooting numbers are down across the board.
But frankly, Richard, this is such a good team offensively. It's hard for him, a player like him, maybe to get that rhythm because they're so good offensively at every position.
Well, he's not the primary, the second, or even the third option. I agree, but his shooting numbers are down over 12% from 3. Last year led the WCC from 3. He's having a tough time right now finding that stroke.
And he hits the free throws.
You need something quick here if you're Santa Clara.
Here's Clark. He's taking too long. Cowles picks it up, and he'll try to create space. He's going to go at the rim. Clark put back, no good. That'll going to do it. Pangos with the rebound, and Gonzaga gets to 15-1. Santa Clara falls to 12-4, 1-1 in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga remains unbeaten at 2-0. How about this start by Gonzaga, Dan? 15-1, ranked number 10 in the country. You begin West Coast Conference play on the road. You get 2 road games out of the way early.
Oh, it's extremely impressive. 15-1 with the schedule that they've played, and then to start league on the road with the 2 wins, like you mentioned, very impressive start.
Gonzaga ends the game shooting 55% from the floor. Santa Clara out-rebounded them by 2, 32-30, but in the end, Gonzaga with a 7-point win, 81-74. For Richard Fox, Dan Dickow, I'm Greg Heister. Good night from the Levy Center in Santa Clara. Number 10 Gonzaga, the 81-74 win.